Hello everybody. Clutch here. Sodak motorcycle vlog. Colorado trip. Day 5. 5th and final day. Heading back to South Dakota today. So it's a bittersweet day, but you got to go back to work sometime. You got to go back home sometime. Motorcycles don't run on hopes and dreams. You also can't just go on a trip because you got a dream to go on a trip. Like, you got to spend some money to go on that trip. So, but a little bit later of a start than I'm used to. But I tell you what, if I was going to beat the heat today, I would have had to been up at like 4 in the morning. And frankly, I wasn't going to do that. I mean, there's sometimes I would do that, but like today, no, I wasn't going to do that today. No, I figured today is, you know, like I said, I slept so good last night. I had a great night of sleep. Very well rested, feel like $1,000,000 bucks. Got me a good breakfast in before I left, which is awesome too. That'll help me throughout the day, and we're fueled up, we're ready to go. Probably our next fuel stop's going to be Torrington. I usually always set up a trip so that last day is usually just kind of a get home day. Like if I take the same route down, there's something I want to see, I always try to do it on the way down. Hence why the first day I started, I went to Scottsbluff that day. So that way today all I had to do was basically go home, and I'm glad I did, because like I said, slept in a little bit, had a good breakfast, you know. So I'll still get home in a fairly decent time. Got plenty of water, and I got a couple waters and a Gatorade, and I think I'll be good to go for the long haul today. I'm just kind of enjoying my last few moments here, kind of just soaking up the Rockies, soaking up the views. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love home where I ride, but man, there's something about down here, something about being especially up in the mountains, that really, even just simply being down here on the plains in front of the mountains is still, I don't know, it just feels like, because, you know, I know from here I'm only an hour away from Estes Park, so that's pretty much where the foothills almost come to an end and the mountains just about start. So you feel like you're close when you're down here. And the bighorns are cool too. The only thing that kind of sucks about the bighorns just aren't as big. The bighorns are kind of a weekend ride, really. And actually I'm gonna do one of those coming up here in a few weeks. Depending on when you see this video, it may be pretty darn close. But basically what's going to happen is the 10 Sleep Brewery in 10 Sleep, Wyoming allows you to camp for, I think it was 17 bucks a night. And you can have up to 3 people at it. So me and a couple other friends, we're going to head out there. Basically we're going to head out on a Saturday, and we'll come back on Sunday. Just make a quick weekend out of it. You can definitely see them fairly decently this morning, so that's good. The haze isn't too terribly bad. That's the problem. A lot of mornings the haze kind of gets bad enough anymore. Anyways, we're gonna get over to I-25 and we'll get going north, and we'll check in with you probably a little bit later. Well, hello. I guess I figured I would check back in. Honestly, because I was getting bored because, well, you know, there's not a lot of country here in Wyoming. Sometimes you do get bored. And the other problem is I've seen this part of the world so many times now that, you know, there ain't a lot that's new. So I figured to distract my attention, I'm gonna blabber at you. So lucky you, right? You get to listen to me talk or gibberish for a while. Bet you that's fun. Day's going good so far. We have cooled down considerably. It's down to 84 degrees now. At one point when we left Colorado, it was already 92 degrees, so that's nice. We've cooled down a bit. It was 90, it got back up to about 90. It cooled down by Cheyenne. It was back up to about 90 by Torrington, but now it's kind of clouded up. A little bit of cloud cover's come over, and it's made it a little bit more bearable. So otherwise, we're just clicking along. We're just about to the town of Lusk, Wyoming. Now, I will say this: if you're doing any kind of road trip and you're on Highway 85, I would highly recommend, if you can, whatever you do, do not stop in Lusk, Wyoming. The problem is Lusk has like one gas station in it, and that's it. And the problem is Lusk is where everybody wants to stop. Everybody, for whatever reason, they just want to stop in Lusk. And granted, it is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, it's only about 60 miles south or north of Torrington, which to me, I'm like, if I were you, set up your gas so you can go 60 more miles and stop in Torrington, Wyoming. Now, unfortunately, if you have a small gas tank, guess what? You're probably gonna have to just stop in Lusk. But like I said, I would try to avoid Lusk as much as I could, because like I said, it's got one gas station. Actually, it's got one gas station and a truck stop. The truck stop only has like 2 gas pumps. The gas station has, let's see, I think they only have 6. Is that right? I think, no. Well, let's see. No, you can fill up like, I think you can do like 12 cars at a time there. No, not even that. Let's see. You can do 8 vehicles at a time there and 4 more. So you can do 12 vehicles at a time in Torrington. That's all. That's the only capacity you have for fueling in Torrington. But I can assure you a lot more than 12 cars go through Torrington every 10 minutes, especially on a busy summer day such as this one. So if you can, I would avoid it, because in Lusk you have there's at least 4 gas stations in Lusk, plus 1 actual big truck stop. So to me, there's plenty of fueling opportunities there. And honestly, if you're coming down from Newcastle, you stop in Newcastle beforehand, same deal. Newcastle's got plenty of fuel capacity too, really close to the road. So I would recommend avoiding Lusk like the plague. So there is your warning about putting anything in Lusk. Okay, well, we're getting closer. I can see the Black Hills now. Means we're getting close to home. Much as I love to travel, there's still something about when you see the hills off in the distance, it means you're getting close. Granted, on this side I'm not as close as I am as I'm coming from the other side of the state, or from eastern South Dakota into Rapid City, but still, you see the hills, you just know that, yep, we're close now. Just about back home. Just about done with the plains. Well, somewhat, but because coming through, you'll still go over to Hot Springs, but then you'll still drive up 79, which is right in front of the Black Hills. So But still, fact of the matter remains, we're close. Yep. It's always a good view, I think. And then right there is Mule Creek Junction, where we got to turn. All right, coming up on the state border here. There you are. Back home. Great faces, great places. Speed limit strictly enforced. Blah, 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 blah. Meth, we're on it. If you plan to bring drugs, South Dakota, plan to stay for a very long time. There's all the catchphrases, I think. Guys, just about the hot springs. In fact, right after we crest this hill, we'll be going into hot springs. It's backed up about 90 now. Starting to feel the heat just a little bit. Definitely a good time to stop and get off the bike, put some fuel in, cool down a little bit, fill up all the water. Slow down for the cop. From here we'll have probably about another hour and 15 minutes before we're home, so I figured by the time I stop for a little bit, do what I need to do, it's probably gonna be about 4 when I get to my house, so that's an alright time. Like I said, I got going a little later than I wanted to this morning, but you know, at the same time, I think it was worth waiting. Especially when you're staying the night with people you don't see all the time. It's always a good time, good opportunity. It's always nice to, you know, catch up a little bit. Not to mention they're always, as always, they took really good care of me. Can't get over the bug guts all over everything. I hate bug guts. Another reason why this is as far to the east as I want to live. Granted, we still get bugs, but not like they would in other parts of the world. Alright, well, I stop probably at the truck stop out on 79 and like I said, take a quick break, fill up, and get on home. Well, our mountains aren't, well, they're not really mountains, they're more glorified hills, but our hills aren't quite as majestic as the Rockies are, but you can still see Black Elk Peak off there in the distance. That's the highest point back there. I don't know if you can quite tell with the camera, but like I said, it's not as majestic as the Rockies, but they're still pretty cool. They're still pretty cool. They still make me pretty happy. 179 south of Formosa. Still 95, still plenty warm, but we're getting there. Chugging along, and I'll keep admiring the Black Hills. There we go, last exit. Another successful trip in the books. The trip's fun and all, but I figure with any trip you take on a motorcycle, the main mission you have to have is to get home. You have to make it home. That's your main mission. Go out, have fun, do your thing, but make sure you make it home and make it home safely. And by God, we have accomplished that. But been definitely a fun trip. Like I said, part of me hates it has to end, but I figure you must have went somewhere good or must have had a good time if you don't want the trip to end. So, but unfortunately, that's how life works. I'm not independently wealthy, so guess what? I have to go have to work a job to afford to do some of these things. So that's just the way it is. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for swinging by on this trip. Had a pretty fun journey together. Hope you stick around Sodak Motorcycle Blog. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. That's fine. Feel free to chime in with your comments. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. Also, you hit that bell notification icon to be reminded of future videos. But I'll make it really easy for you. New videos come out every Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain. So, once again, for the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, this is Clutch, signing off.